Heat Ray UK here. Welcome to another Bedcast. Danny's with me here again.
Hello.
And we're going to have another look at the sci-fi and fantasy movies on Netflix. And so, yeah.
What have you got to say about Midnight Special? And
I managed to squeeze in a viewing at the cinema just before it went out of circulation. It's a really fine film. It's a really fine film. I mean, I think maybe the ending was a bit much for me. I didn't need all those special effects and stuff, and it kind of pooped on the tone a bit, but not enough to do the film any permanent injury. But just I think the first half an hour was so perfect, so perfect. Just the cinematography and the way it was cut.
And the fact that it just kind of cracks along and you don't really know what's going to happen or what's going on, but it doesn't give a shit.
No.
It's just kind of...
It's great storytelling.
Got its little confidence on and it's going for it. Yep. It's
great storytelling because you know that things of consequence are happening, but you don't really need to know what, you know, and they trust you to get it, and it's really awesome. And Michael Shannon and... I've forgotten his name. The other dude.
This is really shit. People are going to be like, what's wrong with those guys? They're really shit.
No, we can cut this out. It's fine.
Joel
Edgerton. Joel Edgerton.
I didn't look. I was going to look, but I didn't need to look. In the end, I got there.
Well done. Brilliant. Well
Yay.
done. That hardly ever happens to me.
Brain.
Hardly ever happens to me. Well done. Well done. Really well done. Really, really well done.
I don't feel patronised at all.
Joel Edgerton and Michael Shannon. I mean, Michael Shannon, I could just, I could watch him do anything. I just want to take a holiday on his face. You know, it's just like Michael Shannon wasn't born. He sort of erupted from the landscape, you know.
Yeah, he's like an amethyst. He just kind of was born in a hole in the ground and went... and came out of it.
He should be on the what's it called? What's the mountain where they have all the presidents' heads?
Rushmore.
Is that what it is called?
Mount Rushmore.
I was going to say Mount Rushmore, but then I thought, no, that's a film by Wes Anderson.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, it looks like he just his face would.
His face
is naturally appear in places.
That's what he's got. He doesn't have a face.
No,
because that's too clean a sounding
He
word.
has a face. Yeah, he has a face. Joel Edgerton is a very good actor, I'd say.
Did he come from a hole in the ground?
No, I think he was born.
He was born.
Born like a normal person.
Was he born now?
He's still a bit born.
He's still being born.
Yeah, no, look at his face. He's like, oh what? Oh shit. You know, he's still a bit kind of like pudgy and bloody.
That's a thing in Midnight Special, because he goes from like quite assured and quite aloof at the beginning of the film to no spoilers, but when the sort of reveal 2/3 into the film happens, he's quite childlike and in awe and in wonder.
It's a fucking hell of a road movie, and it doesn't, as you say, it doesn't waste any time getting on the road. It's like, straight there.
It's got that real Americana feel that I was talking about the other day, like in regards to films like that and Logan.
Yeah, Logan is
that I really enjoy in the movie.
Something that kind of raised...
They really are actually quite similar movies. But
yes, I was just going to say, yeah.
Individual in their own right, aren't they? Really good partners on like the DVD shelf, I would say.
Well, you know, often they'll have a screenplay that's going around Hollywood. It's just doing the rounds for ages and ages without getting properly developed. And various studios will say, well, I like that element of it. Maybe we could take you out and get you to write this in something else. And you'll get movies that are entirely based around one scene that's been taken
off from a scene in a different film.
From a different screenplay, and I was wondering if that, because both movies feature that's the set piece of kind of psychic.
Spoilers.
I don't know what do you call. Yeah, what would you call it? Just kind of like a psychic quake sort of type sequence, right? And sorry, shit, yeah. So I'm tapping. Sorry, and I was wondering if that was part of that was part of a screenplay that was previously going around, or whether the guy who maybe originally wrote Midnight Special had a screenplay going around that was pitched to another studio. They decided not to use it, but they liked that element and
Maybe.
thought, well, we can have that in Logan, or something like that, because it's uncannily similar.
Yeah.
That both movies have that as a sort of set piece.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me feel a bit cynical. It would have thrown me out if it wasn't for the fact that scene in Logan is the best action sequence in any X-Men movie ever.
It's fucking amazing. You watch that scene and you just fucking clench everything, and it's amazing. And I think it comes as quite a surprise in the film,
And a good bit of gore as well.
Well, yeah.
I'm spoiling. But look, everybody's fucking seen that movie now. Anyone who's going to watch this has seen Logan, so if you haven't, just don't be a dick. Go and see it. Come on. All right, come on, let's move on to the next thing then.
Well, I know you haven't seen it, but I guess you've kind of seen it vicariously.
Mm-hmm. You're going to talk about Jupiter Ascending. Is that what you're going to say?
I am going to talk about Jupiter Ascending.
Why don't you tell us about that? Because you're the one that's you've been there, so we don't have to.
So pompous and so empty and soulless at the same time. Really, really badly judged. And I don't often watch something and want those 2 hours of my life back, but I really felt angry at having given this any time. I don't know what's going on with Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, I wish
in that
we could.
movie.
I wish we could bring up a clip of him. Maybe I'll try and get an audio clip for this Bedcast. Yeah.
Just maybe end on Eddie Redmayne going. And I could see how, again, not giving too much away, a character that had lived for many lifetimes would be bored of speaking. But there must have been another way.
But I wonder if that's just Eddie Redmayne. I wonder if that's just what he's actually like. I'm wondering
Maybe
if
he
that's
just
like
has quite bad diction generally.
he has to be directed to actually be intelligible, like in his home. It's like, what did you think of Les Mis, Eddie?
My life is an act of consumption.
Right, come on. Sorry, Eddie. I'm sure you're a really good egg.
Sorry, Eddie. Yeah. Well, was he?
Right, okay, I really like that. A lot of people didn't, but I really did.
I went in with no expectations. You were like, oh, you should watch World War Z. It's quite good. And I didn't mind it at all.
I hadn't seen it before you.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, it's because I read the book.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I didn't read the whole book. I just kind of skimmed bits. But I like the vibe of it. And what was controversial is the last bit of World War Z was kind of... A lot of people felt it was sort of capped on, where they go to an island and then Doctor Who is there and Peter Capaldi, I'm talking about. You didn't know it was a crossover. It's going to be...
Yeah, it's like, oh, they've entered the Doctor Who universe now. Yeah.
You can say Whoniverse. It's all right.
Oh,
it's okay.
I'm not that.
You don't want to. You don't want to make that commitment.
I'm not
right.
that. I'm not that nerd.
Well, are they zombies? Are they in? Are they still in? Or are they on the way out?
You've got The Walking Dead. I'm sure zombies.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say, because Walking Dead, it's just really dropped off. It's been in the media a lot. Well, it's been on interwebs media a lot now, that the viewing figures for The Walking Dead have really dropped off. My prediction for zombies. As a thing,
yes,
is that it's kind of on the wane, but it's a perennial. It'll come back. But
Rainy with a chance of zombies.
I think it's just a bit. I think it's a bit down on stock at the moment. Its stock is low.
Let's do another film.
Let's do another movie. Okay.
All right. Ghostbusters 2.
I knew you. I saw that. I saw you scrolling down, and I thought, she's going to mention Ghostbusters 2.
I have to mention Ghostbusters 2 because
nobody has to mention Ghostbusters 2.
But I rewatched it the other day for the first time in a long time.
Did you rewatch it, or did you just use it as a soporific? Well, what about the story? What happens in the story?
something oozy is flowing under the city, which is feeding off of people's emotions.
Okay.
Negative emotions.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think that they thought that there was a good satirical angle in getting, because the reputation for New Yorkers is they're all kind of hard bitten and hard driven, and
fast talking.
yeah, and they thought like, well, let's the satirical thing is like let's see what happened if New York's like, you know, adversarial spirit kind of came to life and you know, and
that I don't know, that I think that's being too kind. I think they were just like,
what do you think would have happened if they'd made Ghostbusters 2 as a response to 9/11?
I'm not sure.
What? Okay, so what's next?
What about Looper?
Yeah. That's, of course, Rian Johnson, who has been very controversial with the Star Wars business. I liked Looper.
I liked Looper.
I thought it was kind of... I thought it was kind of flawed.
I think the young actor in that film is very good.
Yes, I can't remember his name, but he's a good child actor. I don't think that they should have children.
Children.
I don't think they should have children in any films. Really? Yeah, I really...
Because child actors get screwed up? Or...
I think they kind of do. I think even under the most...
They're either too good and you think, oh, that child's not having a childhood, or they're really shit.
I just don't... I mean, people are going to think I'm really conservative, but I just don't think it's an environment suitable for children. You know, I don't think it's a working environment that's right for kids, and I don't... you know... But then again, what can you do? I mean, you can't just suddenly say, well, let's not write any screenplays that have child characters, because it's part of the human experience, and you got to do that. But I just always worry about it. I always look at it and think, I don't know. Maybe it's a kind of hangover from the whole Jake Lloyd thing as well. You know, it's like, imagine and if you're a kid and you're in movies, especially if you're in a successful movie,
yeah,
other kids are just going to take the piss out of you relentlessly because they hate that you're doing something that's really successful. And they're going to be really brutal about that. And it's going to probably force you more in a direction of hanging out with people that have similar experiences. But then if you do that, you're going to become the sort of person that's only exposed to those sorts of people. And so as a consequence, you get a distorted view of life. Before you know it, it's all gone to shit. And there's no one there to help you, because the industry, you know, if a talented kid comes into the industry, there's no one there to say, look, it's okay, I'm going to take care of you.
No, because they just want you to keep on keeping on, you know, and then if you break, then you're of no more use to them.
That's right, so you're just a broken toy. And it's like, well, fuck that, you know. And, you know, that's an okay way to treat adults who are old enough to know better, but it's not an okay way to treat children who can't. And I guess this is it. Can a child meaningfully consent to being part of that industry where there's so much, you know? I mean, we have...
Are they psychologically equipped?
We don't let children work in offices. We don't let children, at least, you know, in Western democracies, we have laws against children being chimney sweeps or road sweepers or...
any kind of sweepers,
working in a pornographer's editing suite or something like that. You know, we have laws to protect children from labour, because labour is exploitation unless you're giving your labour with informed consent. So why should the movies be any different than that?
Would you how would you feel about children enacting with some kind of psychological screening or like professional to talk to. If,
Like maybe a counselling resource or
Yes,
something
a
like that.
resource.
I think most of the big studios do have people
Yeah.
like that. So far, they seem to have done their job really fucking badly.
yeah.
All right, well, sorry, everybody. It's all gotten a bit...
Heavy.
Yeah.
What about Godzilla? We've spoken about Godzilla
Right, okay.
together before.
You mean the Gareth Edwards
The Gareth Edwards
movie, right?
Is this that one?
No, that's a
Oh.
Netflix
well
CGI anime
Fuck
thing.
it then.
But no, Godzilla's definitely worth talking about because it was so boring, so boring. I mean,
And if you had Bryan Cranston, why would you do what you did
I
with
can-
Bryan Cranston
yes,
in that movie?
I can only imagine that it must have been down to money or contract issues.
I mean,
Because
fucking have him as the main and sack off Aaron, what's his face?
Aaron Taylor
Aaron
Johnson,
Taylor
yeah,
Johnson,
yeah.
because he was dull.
Terrible. Well, I mean, just really boring to watch.
Mm.
And as soon as you lost Bryan Cranston, that's
just
it. Game
unraveled,
over.
didn't
It
it?
just completely unraveled. I mean, and it was so boring. It was so tedious. I don't know how it is that movie seemed to gain traction with critics and audiences because it was so goddamn boring.
Justin quite likes that film, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think at the same time as acknowledging that it is boring,
isn't-
but
yeah.
it's like, you know,
It's Godzilla, so he's gonna like
he's
it.
a pervert, you know. It's, I think that, and it was amazing. I was amazed at how, and relieved at how pacey, and just unpretentiously cut Rogue One was as a movie after Godzilla, because I thought, shit, it's Gareth Edwards, it's Star Wars, it's just going to be, he's going to just make it as slow as fuck, you know.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't. It was really pacey, and I really liked it.
Well, should we talk about Rogue One?
Let's talk about Rogue One. Let's
Rogue
fucking
One.
talk about Rogue One, because I've seen that movie 3 times now, and I've just liked it more every time I've seen it.
That's
I just
fucking
think it's
awesome.
really, really great.
Yeah.
You know.
I really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
I've only seen it the once. But I really liked it. And it hasn't been so well received. But controversy.
It's been mixed. It hasn't been badly received. It's not like
I'm gonna
Last Jedi
say-
controversy,
Right,
but it's,
well,
but it's, you know.
that's where I was going.
Yeah.
I was going to say out of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and Rogue One, I actually think it's the best of the 3.
Yeah, I think that's a respectable position. There's too much stuff to edit now, so we're going to have to close now.
No, this is actually going on still as you're watching this. I haven't been able to go to the toilet or to earn any money or to sleep. It's still going on as we speak.
Just stuck in a nerd vortex.
That was kind of like a Wookiee.
It was. I can just do a Wookiee.
Finish on a Wookiee.
Okay.
Go on.
Right,
Give it
okay.
your best shot,
Right.
and this will be the closing.
Okay.
No pressure. Deep breath now.
Look, the more you prepare me, the harder it's going to be.
That's what I'm going for. I want you to fail. I want us to finish on a fail.
I'm not going to fail. I'm going to do it really well.
Okay. Be the first thing in your life that you've done really well.
Fuck off.